Hi everybody, this is AK back after few months and this time for an amazing European journey. Hi everyone, and I will wait for a few minutes for everyone to join. And I know how Europe is heart of everyone, how everyone from India loves to travel to Europe, and especially the one very close to my heart where we are taking this journey down the line few months, and of course Spain and Portugal. And I will wait for people to join, because I know how eagerly people are waiting for this live to happen, and how always I've seen it's not now, forever. People want to travel to Spain and Portugal, and why not? So I mean, they are like one of the most sought after countries. And why are they? You have to wait for my live to understand that why Spain and Portugal is followed by multiple people, why people want to go there. So let's wait for a few people to join, and while we are and thank you, because it's a Sunday, lazy afternoon, and thank you very much for joining the live. And I understand, while you're lazing around, how would you like to know about these two countries, and what do they have to offer us, and why Meraki Diaries is taking this journey? Well, we always wanted to, we've been taking this journey before, and I've seen that this has always been the most sought after journey. Of course, we have others also, few in our list where people always want to do travel, but I think Spain and Portugal has got some heart of it. So I think people are still joining, and we'll take another second or maybe probably a minute for more people to join and give them an opportunity to listen to this live, and why you should travel to Spain and Portugal, what is the route we are traveling, how should you travel to Spain and Portugal, and what is Meraki Diaries doing there. I'm going to cover all this during this live, and during the end of this live, you're most welcome to ask me questions, any doubts, anything about the countries. So let's begin, and I don't want to take a lot of time to begin this live, but here I go. Here AK goes and talks all about Spain and Portugal. Welcome everybody to my live for Spain and Portugal. And to first start with, let me tell you that what are the best months to travel to Spain and Portugal. It totally depends on the kind of person you are. Of course, Spain and Portugal, starting on the middle of September until middle of April, is cold. Now, when we say cold, what are the temperatures like? So mornings will be typically around 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, sometimes 2, 4, 5, and afternoons will be again about 9, 10, 12, and evenings again 1, 0, sometimes -1. But when it comes to summers, then there are people who love summers in Spain. And why? Because Spain has lot to offer, lot to walk. Sometimes people in winters are not able to bear that, but there are people who love winters in Spain, and we do have a trip which also happens during the winter because it has its own charm. But this time, Meraki Diaries is going to be there in not purely summer, not purely winter, but in the middle of August, which is a very perfect weather. Afternoons about 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, and nights about, in fact, I would say not 18 to 22, but somewhere around 25. It may some days get stretched to about 25 degrees Celsius, but nights are anything between 12 to 17 degrees Celsius. A very perfect weather, because we are going to the country which is full of energy, full of architecture. And if you're the person who loves energy, food, tapas, energy, architecture, you love history, and then you like the laid back beaches, you like amazing the cliffs, the big structures around the beaches, then of course Portugal. So this journey of Meraki Diaries from Spain to Portugal, which we cover in about 9 nights and 10 days, is going to be the beautiful journey. Now let me tell you about the Spain. Spain is not a very big country in the Europe, and it's almost in between the Atlantic Ocean, and Meraki Diaries is covering a very classic route, and the classic route, kind of covers. We start from Madrid, which is capital and the heart of Spain, and Madrid is full of architecture. The city is also the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which most of the Spain and Portugal is. The UNESCO World Heritage Sites are full of them. So we start from Madrid, heart of Spain. We move towards Cordoba to Granada to Seville to Algarve. From Seville, when we move, we reach to Portugal. And how do we start Portugal? From Algarve, the amazing beachy town, the white sands, and the region is also a golf resort, as well as one of the pristine beaches of Portugal. If you want to just enjoy the beaches, you want to enjoy nature, you want to also enjoy adventure, Algarve is your place. And from Algarve to Lisbon to Sintra, and from Lisbon we are out. So we enter Madrid in Spain, we out from Lisbon. Now, why this route Meraki Diary has chosen? Because this is the most classic route. And when we say classic, means Spain is known for its architecture, Spain is known for its history, culture, religion, food, Flamenco, and that is the reason that we have really wanted to do this trip with this particular routing. Now, before I take a little bit about the country, history, and tell you a little bit about each places, I want to tell you connectivity to Spain, connectivity to Portugal. We have an excellent connectivity from India to Spain and Portugal, and we have flights going in, but we do not have direct flights to Spain from India or to Portugal. So the route best taken is either from the European side. We can hop onto Lufthansa through Germany, we can hop onto KLM, we can hop onto any European airline which could, or any London-based airline which will give you an excellent connections to Spain and Portugal, and especially because we are starting this journey from Spain, so you have excellent, and you also have an excellent connection to Middle Eastern airlines like Emirates, your Qatar Airways, your Etihad. They give you an excellent connection. So definitely we do not have a direct connections, but we have a great connections to Spain and to Portugal. Enter in and enter out. Then Spain visa almost takes about 15 days. It's easier to procure your visa from Spain than to Portugal, because Spain, of course, the tourism is huge in Spain, and they're ready. Their visa centers are ready with a lot of people. 15 days is generally a time, and we always say you should have 15 to 20 days in your hand to apply the Spain visa, and it is not a complicated visa. If you have traveled to other European cities or any other, we have basic documents which are required: your 6 months of passport, your the other details which are required. So 15 days in your hand to procure Spain visa, Spain and Portugal. And you don't need to have two different visas for the people who are not aware of it. If you have a visa for Spain, which is part of a Schengen state, and if you have a visa for any Schengen state, you can travel to all other Schengen states. So you can take visa from Spain and also travel to Portugal, and that's the classic. Now let's begin with our journey. Excited about Meraki Diaries, and where we cover. So we enter Madrid, guys, and Madrid, if you see, is like a place which is full of architecture. Palaces. Why we chose it? Because of the palaces, easy international access. It's a grand capital of Spain, and royal palaces, museum, and the great city vibe, the great nightlife. We can walk. That's what Meraki Diaries is going to do. The walk nights on the streets of Spain, enjoy the great tapas, enjoy the great music, enjoy the great architecture. And also people who love architecture and are really into architecture, I think this is a trip for you, because Meraki Diary has the great guides who take us around these architectures, explain us the great palaces, museums, and in a very great detailed manner. Then and also, because we are taking this journey through the south of Spain, we're going to start from the central, which is Madrid, and we go down to the south towards Cordoba, Seville, and then Granada, and we go right like this to the east towards the Portugal, and we get out from there. So we start from the middle, we go down to south, we take like east of it up, and then we get out. And then talking about the journey in Spain, we have the Moorish culture. Moving forward from Madrid, which is the heart of architecture, towards Cordoba. Cordoba is very popular for its Moorish culture. Now, what is Moorish culture? I want to tell a little bit about it. During the medieval period, from 711 to about 1435, we had Eastern Africans and Arabs who used to rule the city, and we have a lot of architecture which is based on the Moorish culture there, and the Moorish culture has a little bit of Islamic and a little bit of a Catholic culture, and then we have great mosques, the great palaces which have been made based on that. And then that's what we're going to do in Cordoba. We're going to, and these are all UNESCO World Heritage Sites, what we're going to work. So basically a very amalgamation, what you will see is from the Middle East to the Roman culture, which was brought in these cities from Granada and then to Cordoba, and the great Roman roads. We then moved to Seville. We also from Cordoba we go to Granada, and Granada of course again is a place where the kingdom actually started, you know, the Moorish kingdom, then eventually moved towards the Catholicism, moved to the Roman kingdom. That's what you will see, the beautiful turnover from here, from Moorish to Catholic culture. That's what you see. Then we move to Seville, again intense Moorish culture, and then also the intense Flamenco culture. That's where you would have seen many videos when you open your Instagram or YouTubes. The flamenco actually comes from Seville, and that's the best place to actually, you know, witness flamenco. And that's what Meraki Diaries is also going to do. The flamenco, the Gothic architecture, and the cathedral, the Real Alcazars. That's what the Seville is all about. Meraki girls are going to walk around the city. We are also going to have a great nightlife, the great tapas bars, which we are going to, you know, go to some amazing tapas bars and enjoy. We are also going to have a lot of interaction with the local people. That's what is the heart of Meraki Diaries. And while we enjoy, the locals from the city take us to these great small places where probably the tourists wouldn't know, tourists wouldn't have gone. So Meraki Diaries always includes the local people as part of their journey who take us around the city. Then moving from the nightlife of Seville, further ahead we enter to Algarve, which is the first city of Portugal we're going to enter. One of the beautiful, one of the cleanest, one of the greatest beaches in Portugal if you want to enjoy is Algarve. That's where the Meraki signature experience is, like, you know, doing a picnic at the Algarve. We hike a little bit Algarve because Algarve is also a space where you can also do a bit of adventure. So we do a very soft hike in the cliffs of these beaches, and we actually have a great picnic there. So from experiencing the great flamenco, from meeting the local people, from having the great architecture, you know, the classes on the architecture from the great architects on this trip, we have made this journey which actually has everything for everyone. If you're a nature lover, you're a beach lover, you're an architect lover, you're a city lover, you want the local experiences, that's what it is for. And from Algarve, from the beaches, Algarve is also very, very, very famous for Bengali. It's called the Bengal Caves. These are the typical caves which have these small openings where the sun comes in, and then you kayaking in between these caves, and you can swim between these waves. Then moving to Lisbon. Lisbon is one of the oldest city in the world. I don't know how many of you know, but after Athens, Lisbon is one of the oldest cities of Europe, and you know, which has the architecture itself says Julius Caesar, a lot of you will know, during the Roman times made this city as one of his capital city, because the city has a lot of history to do with Moorish, Islamic, Catholic, Roman culture, and great, you know, I would like to say the great museums, the palaces from this Julius Caesar's time, and you know, that's what we're going to do in Lisbon. The food in Lisbon is so great. It has a great seafood, it has a great patisseries, it has a great, you know, local I would say the great local flavor if you want to get in Portugal. Lisbon is a city, and from Lisbon we also do this beautiful city called Sintra. This is actually a fairy tale city of Portugal. If you really want to see the colors, you want to see the great architecture, the Sintra, the entire city has been named as the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So, well, with all this, among this, from doing royal palaces of Madrid, Prado Museum, Alhambra in Granada is one of the world's oldest UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is to die for. We walk around the fortress, Mezquita Cathedral, from Flamenco nights to tapas bars, Algarve beaches to Belém Towers. This is the trip for you girls. And A lot of people ask me questions that how do we do these trips? These trips are very private. We do not take more than 8 to 10 people on our trips. We have a tour leader traveling on the trip. In this case, AK will be taking this trip to Spain and Portugal, and with absolute one thing which Meraki doesn't forget, no matter what we do, our heart is to ensure we take care of people. Safety is important. Tour leaders who travel with the group know the area so well that they understand the local people. They can ensure they navigate safety for women. We also have local guides always part of our tours who are the locals, and also, as I said, a lot of locals are part of our tour, especially in Spain. So we have always private tours. We try to give you the vibes of the city, and also meeting the local people, and these are some safety things which we take. The most comfortable local transportation, private, a lot of stories, and because we are small, we are intimate. Whatever we design, we try to give that flavor to people. We ensure that you know about the history of the state. We ensure that we take you to the most important places when you go to these cities, what is important for you. And of course, the great tribe, the like-minded women who are part of our trips, and our great repeat travelers who love to be part of our trips. And of course, the great vibe, the little Meraki talks, which we love to do during our trips with our fellow women, and to have a great vibe along. And here I invite all you women to join this amazing trip, 14 to 22nd of August. Log on to our website or DM us to any of our travel curator and know more about this trip. And I'm right here if you have more questions to ask. I invite all of you and welcome all of you to ask me more questions. And one thing Meraki Diary has never forgot is the essence of the particular country we are traveling to. It's very, very important, and our trips are deep researched, well-made itinerary, which make sure that you get what you have to get from this trip. And I'm sure each one of you comes have their own takeaway from the trip, and before you join and after you go. And AK welcomes you to join this trip. We have very limited seats. Book your seat now. Know more about the trips, call us, DM us at any point in time. I move on from here and leave the space for asking more questions if any one of you have. AK will be happy to answer your questions.